You listen to that, and it starts to sound just really honest. It starts to sound like stuff that you've been seeking out for a long time that you didn't realize you were. You know what I mean? It's important to go seek the source of these tunes. Certainly, you gotta go visit people like Lester McCumbers, older people who learned it traditionally. This is where it all comes from.
That's a pretty picture. Yeah.
My dad was raised over in Clay County in a place they called Booger Hole, and it was supposed to be the meanest place in the country, you know. Some guy got shot up there and killed, and they put him in the house and burned him. Anyway, they used to have what they called a mob or something, you know. If you didn't behave, they'd come in and get you.
Mm-hmm.
And they went in there after him and trying to get him and stuff. And he married one of my dad's sisters, and she's the one that lived around here. And she shot one of them. I think he died afterwards. She got on a horse and started out of there, and they shot her arm off. When I was a boy growing up, if you got a high school diploma, you had to walk from here to Orma 10 miles to catch the bus. There wasn't very many people out of this hall that ever graduated to high school. They couldn't walk that backwards and forwards every day. 10 miles of a morning and 10 miles of an evening. There wasn't nothing going on, only a square dance here. And there people would gather up and have square dances in their homes, you know. That's all it was. There wasn't no entertainment. And on Saturday nights, a lot of times, a bunch of us would get together and we'd walk across the hill. It'd be about a mile though across the hill. We'd go over there and listen to the Grand Ole Opry on the radio when there wasn't more in the country, you know.
We met up with Charlie Burton, and he told me that you were the last mailman on horseback.
Yeah, I was on horseback and also on foot.
Years ago, you'd be out dancing, they'd be a hot dancer, he would dance up to you or she and lay a step on you, and you'd have to copy back and forth so you could tangle them up. And that was one I used to use instead of just going. I would do it real fast, like just roll that foot, and they couldn't catch it if you do it real fast enough, so they couldn't catch what you was doing. You listen to old time fiddler, you hear the drone in there from the bagpipe, from the Irish and Scotch, and so on, and there was a lot of black influence in the music and dance. Of course, the banjo was an African instrument, and as far as the percussion part from the Africans, it's so vague. Of course, most of them were barefooted in, and how much percussion could they get barefooted? They could feel it, but and there's very little history on this dance that exists. Well, there wasn't much there other than hills. The young days, there were even very few roads back along in there, but it's all country, small mountain farms and that type of thing. Mostly just for survival. We were our own family, you know, and they'd have livestock they would sell a little bit, and of course chickens and the regular farm type animals. No tractors or anything back in them days. It was all everything done by hand, and then we had plenty to eat. Fun things to do. We hunting and fishing and that type of thing.
It's vital that we, in this generation, go back to the land, start doing things ourselves, grow our own food, take the resources that are being thrown away in the dumpsters. Well, I don't know. Well, I'm a permaculturist. I grow my own food. I dumpster dive. And this morning I had, potatoes that I got from a dumpster and sunchokes that I grew in my garden and an egg, that came from a duck that I have. So, that's part of it.
Where are the guys at Mumford and Sons kicked out of their band?
There's a return to the roots, a return to living on the land, doing things yourself, and bluegrass and punk are sort of tied to that. The bluegrass is a rural thing. It's a part of a culture that is tied to the land, and then punk is part of a culture that says "fuck you" to the establishment, "fuck you" to all the oppression, all the shit that they're doing, and it's about empowering yourself and doing it yourself.
Up like a fire and out like a flame. Oh, that Holy Ghost just a coming out your name. Well, it's
There was a big revival in folk music and this kind of music, Appalachian thing. I think it comes with a disillusionment of the town you live in. You see the world around you, and you understand that it's bullshit, I guess, a little bit. Like you understand it's a farce. It's like that there's more to life than what is being offered. And I think old traditional music and Appalachian music in particular gives you that connection to like what is real and pure about existence, about life.
I dropped out of high school at the end of my sophomore year because I was failing out anyway, and I really didn't. I always had a really hard time in high school, and I was a very different person then than I am now. I was a mean little punker. I was interested in skateboarding and failing out of school, and I was interested in drugs, and my mom wanted me to get up and go to school one day, and I was like, nah, it's like the last 2 weeks before summer, I'm just not going to go to school. And she's like, well, then you're not going to live under my roof. And I was like, bingo.
I'm going to Washington, D.C. I'm going where there ain't no God to keep me out. Yeah, you know it seems this way. Come on, Jay. Give me on that cold electric train.
We grew up with a lot of promise and a sort of a false sense of promise, and we are now kind of the curtains being pulled back, and we see that there is no promise. So there's really no point to this life. You're not guaranteed anything, and so now it's once again life is this sort of like open frontier.
And I got on my bicycle, and I biked to the city from the suburbs, and I immediately started playing music down in Southside on East Carson Street.
This is the first time I've really noticed and been involved in such a subculture of human beings, because I was homeless for a little stint there for a couple of months, and I had to sleep under the stars and hang out by the river.
We have a socioeconomic downturn, and it's about the freedom from needing those things.
I think it has something to do too with if young people are getting into it, and you're seeing it be a little bit more edgy and angry. I think it comes from wanting to live more simplistically. Not only were people who played this music, where we inherited this music came from, not only did they live more simple, the instruments themselves are more simple too. I can go anywhere with my banjo and my fiddle, and I can go just play with somebody else. I'm not going to plug in, I'm not going to buy expensive equipment. They discovered it by exploring America, I guess, and having an interest in that, and living more simply. It's just also like, when you live with nothing, this music lends itself well, because you just have your case. That's all you have. Unless you play upright bass, then you can't really do it. But like, if you have a guitar, banjo, a fiddle, mandolin, you can go anywhere, and like, it supports you. You know, I used to make a living just busking. That's what this kids are doing too. And you can do that, you know, in busier cities. And you can just take your fiddle with you, you have a backpack, your fiddle, and that's all you need.
We all choose what lifestyle we have.
Yeah, there's definitely there's a timeless quality, and there's timeless aspects to life.
Right, and to understand what comes before you is to understand yourself, because you are a semblance of your own history, you know.
I think the best way to inherit that is through music too.
I've told the people wherever there was anybody that seemed interested in it, you know. I said, if you're interested in anything that I can do, well, I'll gladly help you with it. Well, I said, I'm just old and dumb, and I said, I don't know much about music, only just what I play. I said, that's all I know. I said, I never tried to learn nothing else. You got a starter drum or something?
You done.
Ain't that a laugh? Ain't that a lark? Ain't that a crackhead that? Well, we all die alone and we never get home. Do we, girl? Well, you know just what you suppose when you